Welcome to the family dinner table. We have a very special guest this episode. Chef Peter from Il Vicino is going to teach us how to not only make the best, freshest pizza, but how to involve your family in the kitchen. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so before we get to how you involve your family in the kitchen, you mentioned your whole family revolves around Il Vicino.
Correct.
You started here as a busboy?
Correct, yes. I started at the El Vicino College Hill location off of Douglas and Central. I actually applied for the job as busboy to impress a girl that would soon be my wife to this day, actually. So
you knew she worked there, or?
No, she worked at a Quiznos. And
Yeah?
I just was,
You wanted to impress her to get in the restaurant
yeah,
business.
or just getting a job at that point, I was needed the job to impress the girl, so.
Exactly. And so you got your busboy job, but you met your wife at Il Vicino?
Oh, no, we had our first date there. We went to high school together. And
Oh,
it was
you
like,
did.
yeah, back in the day before dating apps, that was how, we had to get the ladies back in the day. I had to impress her, show her I was stable and whatnot, get a job,
Get a job. And your first date was at the restaurant.
Yeah, I was a busboy. I had my 50% discount, actually, so it worked out in my favor in high school,
And look what's happened now.
Yeah, we're married. I have 2 kids now. And
Two
so,
kids. Oh, that is so cool. Now, you involve your kids in your kitchen sometimes.
Correct. I feel like, daddy makes pizza, the kids should know how, right? They should learn all the skills that I have. So.
Yeah. How do they like that? What do
They love it, yeah. It's, they actually get a little disappointed when they come in and we're at normal business hours because they're not allowed back there, so I just have to bring out the dough balls for them to play with at the table, and they make little pretzels and stuff like that, just like any of the kids are allowed to have when they're here, so.
So you give children here at the restaurant dough balls
to play
with if
they
want.
make pretzels and snowmen and all sorts of crazy creations.
So you bring your family here a lot to have big family dinners too.
Yeah, it's one of my fondest memories actually. At this location, we were able to have our Thanksgiving here with my wife's side of the family and my side of the family. And it was an incredible day. The owners gave me permission, with the restaurants closed for Thanksgiving, and I was able to fit 7 turkeys in our oven.
That's incredible. Tell me about when you're at home and you involve your children with cooking.
Yeah, so we like to make a lot of our family meals to involve them. So, a lot of our family meals are gonna be a lot more pizza stuff or a lot more, pasta, things where they can just get involved and put their hands in. Not too much, in complex menus, a lot more easy stuff to get
What
them
do you
involved.
think that does for them to involve them in the preparation?
Well, it's all learning and bonding and just, working on communication skills, reading recipes, following directions and stuff like that. What don't you do when you're cooking with your family, right?
And at your family dinner table with your parents and now with your children and your wife, what kind of things do you talk about? What kind of things do you...
We like to compare stories, because, my childhood is a lot different than my parents' childhood. It's going to be a lot different than my grandparents' childhood. So, in those moments, it's great to compare stories, compare generations and stuff like that, compare recipes, right? Because I tend to find that a lot of times with family recipes, they grow and they evolve with the generations that, come after you, so.
What do you remember about your grandparents and your parents around your family dinner table?
Again, the same thing I instill into my children, just a lot of encouragement of just trying things and getting messy. Get your hands on that dough, get your hands chopping the vegetables and stuff like that and preparing them as much as you can.
Why do you think the family dinner table and now the family kitchen is so important?
Because you build those life-lasting bonds, you have some of the greatest conversations over dinner. You have some of the, you build the greatest bonds over dinner, right? You connect with all the family members. And, I find those times to be far and few in between nowadays, with the way the world is, so.
So the family dinner table or the family kitchen is a way to just take that half an hour or whatever and build those bonds within the time limit that you have.
Yeah. Life is super busy nowadays, right?
Yeah. Okay, so today we're gonna make a very simple pizza. It's called prosciutto
E. ricola.
Prosciutto e ricola. Now, my husband, who's 100% Italian, says prosciutto. So prosciutto e ricola.
Right.
And mozzarella is gonna go on the pizza. My husband says mozzarella instead of mozzarella, but you can say mozzarella. So we're gonna go to the kitchen and make a pizza that is very simple, that your children can get involved with to create some great family memories. So Let's get cooking. So here we are in the kitchen now with Chef Peter, and we're gonna make a pizza called
The prosciutto e ricotta.
or as my husband, the true Italian would call it, the prosciutto. He doesn't say prosciutto, he says prosciutto.
And that's fair, I would too.
If you were Italian,
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
too.
I would too.
You look Italian though.
I get that all the time, actually, yeah.
All right, Chef Peter. And you have an Italian name, Peter.
Right.
I mean, so let's just say you're Italian.
That works for me today.
Let's call it prosciutto e ricotta pizza. All right, we're ready. What do we do first?
So first we're gonna prep some of the items.
Okay.
We're gonna start, we chose this pizza because we wanted to pick a nice, easy family pizza to make at home. And I think right away it would be easier to not have to deal with a whole marinara recipe.
Absolutely.
So at this pizza, we just use a fresh canned tomato sauce or canned tomato that we chop and prep fresh every day.
Okay, now this is very interesting because I can't imagine no spices in my tomato sauce. But you say this tastes fresher. You can just take it right out of the can and put it on the pizza.
Correct, yeah. We take it out of the can that has like whole peeled tomatoes. We just chop them up, put it back in with the sauce, and we use that as our marinara. No spices, no preservatives, no heating up.
So it's a can of tomatoes and a can of sauce. Really?
Correct, yeah.
No spices.
Correct.
All right, what do we do first? With the
dough?
dough?
We're gonna prep some of the items first. So we're gonna start with the fresh mozzarella.
Perfect.
So, there's no, at home, I'm not gonna train home cooks per se, but you really just chop this up into cubes. Whatever,
Cubes, not slices.
We could do slices, you can do cubes, whatever your kids want to do at home when you guys are making this, right?
Okay,
so whatever the kids
perfect.
are gonna have most fun with.
All right. And it's kind of difficult to...
Yeah, it's a little dense. Yeah, you wanna be a little patient when cutting it for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so you can buy these mozzarella balls at any grocery store.
Right across the street at Dillon's if you needed to.
Yeah, okay. Or any grocery store, and you're gonna cut it in cubes, not slices. Okay, let's do that. So, this is a pizza you make at home a lot with your children.
Yeah, it's nice and simple. Like I said, the kids sometimes don't have the patience. You can whip this up really quick.
They get home from soccer practice or whatever, and they're like, I'm hungry. If you have all the already made ingredients, which are the mozzarella cheese that's in a ball, and pretty soon we're gonna get to already made crust, right?
Right, yep, our pizza dough is ready.
All right. So is this your kid's favorite pizza?
It can be, the really cool thing about this pizza is like you may not have prosciutto in your house, and if you don't, you can just use a lunch meat if you want. And that's the interesting about this pizza is like it's a hot and cold
snack. So you
snack.
can use it in any kind of lunch meat?
Yeah, like I said, it's very flexible. El Vicino is also really flexible. We give the freedom to make the pizza your own. You customize it.
Because really, who has prosciutto laying around the house?
Right.
But if you have bacon, Canadian bacon, even ham.
Yeah, would work as well.
Would work as well too. Okay, all right, I'm ready.
All right, so next we're gonna do
the mozzarella.
We're gonna chop up a few cherry tomatoes, and then we'll do the San Marzano.
Perfect.
So I would grab like 5 or 6. That's all we'll need for your pizza.
All right, and you show me how you chop them.
Yeah, we just do them right in half.
There's a special way. Right in half?
Yep, just right in half.
So that's easy.
Yep,
you just do
big
them
old
in
whole half chunks on your pizza. Yeah.
And by the way, my husband calls mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Yeah. So it's mozzarella and prosciutto.
Prosciutto.
There you remember. There you go. So we're making a mozzarella and prosciutto and cherry tomato pizza, but it's really called prosciutto. What's the name of it?
The pizza is called the prosciutto e ricotta.
E ricotta.
You got me saying it now.
I know.
I'm forever gonna say it like that now.
I'm very impressed. You got it right now. Well, he's Italian from New York, so that's the way the New Yorkers say it. Prosciutto. All right. Got some tomatoes here.
All right, and the last thing we'll do is we're gonna take some of these tomatoes out and we're gonna chop them up and put them right back into the sauce.
So you put them in like halves?
Yep.
You put the halves in
the sauce. Well, not in
the
the sauce. No, we'll put that on top of the pizza later.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have our sauce here already done, which is just a can of tomatoes chopped up and smashed up. You can smash them if you want.
Yeah, whatever the kids get their hands on, they can smoosh it up if they wanted to.
See, that's what they could do, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't cut the stuff.
Correct.
But they can get in with your hands. And I was just smashing tomatoes with my hands the other day because the recipe called for smashed tomatoes with your hands.
Right.
A lot of Italians do it that way.
Yeah. And if you want, we can. You want to change it up right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Are there tomatoes in here?
Yeah. So they usually we take them out and we chop them up and we put them back in.
Let's
smash them. We're gonna make a little mess. It is. Kids love messes. Let's do it.
That's the way the Italians do it. I'm not kidding. And this would be fun, as Peter points out. I love this for your kids to do.
Yeah,
Put
get their
on some
hands on it.
gloves and have your kids smash the tomatoes. Now they may get dirty. They may get tomatoes or tomato sauce all over your cupboard. But what the heck? It's
That's
fun
the point
to
of
do with
pizza.
the family.
Pizza's supposed to be fun, right?
Right. It's the family dinner table. Okay.
All right,
So
that's
now
ready.
the kids and the adults have smashed the tomatoes. Now we're going to change gloves.
So this can be one of the more challenging parts, but it can also be the
But this you
funnest
can do
part.
with your kids too.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, you always want
Right?
to start with a whole bunch of flour.
Okay.
The more the merrier.
Okay, so you can buy this at a grocery store, already made like this, or you can come into Il Vicino
Correct.
and buy it here too.
Correct.
You sell your pizza dough.
Correct.
Or you can get it boxed at a grocery store. And
And you can
kind
also
of
do gluten-free options too. You can get a gluten-free crust if you want to go that route as well.
cauliflower crust.
Yeah, we have
very
cauliflower,
popular
yep.
now.
Yep.
And you have that here too,
Yeah,
right?
it's a fan favorite for sure.
Is it? I always get cauliflower crust because I'm gluten intolerant. Can you imagine a chef being gluten intolerant? It really is not very much fun at all.
Okay, I can see that.
It's not very
I guess
much.
it would be less fun for like a pastry chef, right? Or
Yeah.
like a baker.
Can you
right?
imagine?
Yeah. My favorite food was like donuts or something.
Okay, so what are we telling the kids to do here with our
Just
hands?
Really, you know what a pizza is? It's just a flat piece of dough. So we just got to get this as flat as you can. You know, you can use a roller if you have one at home. But a lot of times if you don't have that, the idea on rolling out a pizza is like you're really just stretching the dough, right?
Stretching
so we're
it?
doing our best to stretch it out. And I always, you know, when I'm training newer cooks and chefs and whatnot, I always recommend just work on the edges because that's where all the dough is going to end up anyways. So you want to just kind of pull your edges
So
apart.
you can do
Just
kind of
keep
like
on-
this.
Yep. And we just have to get it to a certain diameter that you're comfortable with stretching with your hands, you know. So this just kind of pre-preps us because, you know, in our restaurant we have a machine that helps us cheat a little bit and kind of,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
when we're busy on Friday nights, we may not have as much time to do
Right.
this by hand, but it just gets us to like this point usually.
But at home, how old are your kids?
6 and 2.
6 and 2. So can the 6-year-old get in the dough and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
It's, you know, I think since she was like 3, because Levi's 2 now, I bring them in the kitchen all the time at work.
You
and
do?
I let them make their own pizzas and I teach them.
You do?
Yeah, yeah.
What a tradition that is for you and your family. They'll remember that forever.
Oh yeah.
And they'll do the same with their kids.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
That's
So now we
how
kind of get it to
family-
this point right here,
All
and like I
right.
said, I
Is
just
this
keep.
big enough?
Oh, well, we're getting there. It's big enough to start rolling the dough out for sure. This is what the machine gets us to this point essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
all
So
right.
really, we're gonna the key trick on pizza dough is like you're pulling the dough apart.
Okay.
And I always train my cooks to understand that like the flour underneath is kind of just keep it from sticking to the board. So you don't want to be pressing the dough down. You want to be pulling the dough apart.
Pulling it apart.
Yes.
Because I was pressing. I was
Correct,
doing
correct.
that.
It's okay to press it at first because remember we're trying to flatten the edges as much as you
Okay.
can. But at a certain point, you just want to just keep pulling the crust apart.
Okay. Now, mine's not getting any bigger, so do we need a roller? Or?
No, you just gotta keep working it. Just
Are
gotta
you
keep.
kidding?
It's patience. It's a patience game.
How long does this take?
Because at one point you can just get to this point right here. Once you get really good on what you feel like your crust is at, you can just start pulling the middle of.
Can
your
we
dough
trade
apart.
crusts?
Yeah, of course.
Sure,
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Let me give you a little head start on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I can't do it as well as you.
It takes a lot of practice, a lot of patience and practice.
Okay, well, with my kids, my grandkids. I don't have any yet, but I will. With my kids, I'll do the roller.
Right.
Because I'm not sure I have the patience to do this, but kids like playing with dough,
Right,
so they
right.
probably do,
Yep.
right?
And you know, it's a cool thing here. We usually, you know, offer to bring out little balls of dough for the kids to play with while they're here.
You do.
Yeah, it helps keep them calm and keep them patient until the order
that's
gets
so
out. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, that is so cool. All right. So how big does this need to get?
We usually go for like a 10-inch plate right there.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do both of them.
Okay. I happen to have a little practice at this, so.
You had a little bit more practice than me.
You know, the number one rule on making pizzas, you can't be afraid to rip your pizza. That's the thing. You got to be confident, understand you're gonna
You
make
can't
some.
be afraid what?
To rip your pizza. Sometimes.
Oh, rip
Yeah,
it.
you're gonna rip the crust, but then you can just fix it right away.
See, that's what I was afraid of, because I did rip it a little bit.
And you just,
okay.
it's just like Play-Doh. You just put
And
it right
you
back.
just-
Yeah, you just put it right back. That's why kids love playing with pizza, because it's literally just like playing with Play-Doh.
It's so cool. Okay.
All
now,
right.
is this one big enough
Yeah.
now?
Yep.
Okay.
And here we are. We're ready on both.
I am so impressed how fast you did it. Okay.
Next,
Now-
we need to do our sauce base. So we're gonna
Okay.
do some scoops of marinara. I have the ladles right over here.
Okay.
I'll grab those for you. Is that for you? And I would do about a scoop and a half. Just kind of pop it right there in the middle.
Pop it?
Yeah, and I would do like maybe a little half a scoop here. Yeah, just kind of get it all around.
I am so messy.
It's okay. Pizza's supposed to be messy.
Is it all right?
Yeah, of course, of course. That's why we have the aprons on, right?
That's right. Okay, and we just kind of, but it's all right if there's big pieces of tomato?
Yeah, that's why we like the San Marzano for this exact pizza right here.
Oh, and they're San Marzano tomatoes.
Correct.
So if you go to
So-
any grocery store, on the can it says San Marzano, and they're, I don't know, they're better tasting.
Yeah, a little bit wetter, a little bit. It's going to have a lot fresher taste. So if we're on this pizza, like I said, we're not cooking a marinara. You know, it's going to get cooked in the oven. So there's no pre-cooking. There's no spices, no additives, nothing. It's just going to be a fresh canned tomato sauce.
Right. Now what do we do?
We're going to put some fresh mozzarella on it. So just grab a
put that
handful,
over there.
spread it around, and then kids love this part too. This is where they can put their own flavor and flair on it. My kids will either like make a happy face with the mozzarella, or you can just you can do. But again, for us, I'm just gonna throw them on here. But we can spell your name out, do letters if we're practicing letters or numbers for the day or anything like that.
Okay, this is truly a family recipe because the family makes the whole thing.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, you can have your kids involved and your spouse involved and everybody involved in making the pizza.
Yep.
So this is truly a family recipe.
All right, we're ready to cook.
Oh, we don't put anything
not until
else
they come
on
out.
it.
Nope.
Yay! All right.
So now we're just gonna load them up.
Okay, now in your home oven, go ahead and put those.
Yeah, in the home oven, you can just do the standard 450 when you're cooking.
450
Yep.
for about how many minutes?
I would, depending on the oven and the altitude, I would do about, let's say like 10 to 15 minutes at a time. Just kind of recheck your pizza and obviously check for that internal temperature at 165. Ready to serve.
450, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
But keep checking the pizza.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. At home, while you're doing that,
Yep.
you can always make it on a cookie
On a pan,
sheet.
yes, correct.
And then just put the whole cookie sheet in the oven. That's
Correct.
the easiest way.
Correct.
Well, first of all, it'd be impossible to do it at home this way because no one has one of these.
Yeah, so you also need wood burning ovens
Right,
too, right?
right. So you make it on a cookie sheet, or my mom used to make it on a cookie sheet. She used to make a rectangle pizza on a cookie sheet and then just put the whole cookie sheet in the oven. Okay, so this cooks at your home, 450, 10 to 15 minutes, but keep checking.
Yeah, keep checking, kind of gauge it and readjust and whatnot.
Here at the restaurant,
We have a wood burning, we burn wood oak, and it's a live fire that we cook our pizzas with every day. It sits around 600 degrees.
whoa,
Yeah.
okay, quite a bit different than at home.
Yeah, yeah.
So it only takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, because like on our Friday nights, we're cranking out hundreds of pizzas in an hour, so we got to make sure this oven's hot and we got to have enough space in there to cook multiple orders at a time. So.
We'll wait for the pizza and be right back.
All right, so this one's you got in the restaurant you have to a little more face. At home you can just pull it out, right? But
You can-
here
right.
we don't have like an oven mitt per se, but
Right.
we just do this method where you just kind of drop the pizza on your plate. So this
Voila.
takes a little time to get used to.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so you just get it in here, get up under it, then you have complete control of pizza, and then when you just like lean it the against the front of the oven,
Oh,
you just kind of
you
pull
lean
it,
it,
yeah, and just
okay.
let it fall down onto your plate.
Beautiful. All right, so once you pull the pizza out of the oven, we pulled it out of the oven, you just take it out of your oven, put it on the cupboard, of course, and voila, you've got your pizza, but we're not done yet. We still are dressing the rest of the pizza.
Correct. So first what we need to do is cut the pizza, because it'd be a little bit more difficult to cut it once we've dressed it.
You cut it before you dress it.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So the best way to do this is just to put a straight line through it first.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that. Oh, you hear that crunch? That's the crunch of the oven right there.
All right.
And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the pizza.
Now, you really should have a pizza cutter at home to
Everyone
cut
has a pizza cutter at home.
I mean, they're readily available any store, and they're not that expensive. So, okay, here we go.
Oh, so you do your
Cutting
cut, and
the
then we're gonna
pizza.
turn it this way. And so the best way I recommend now is to do an X cut. Across
Oh,
the line.
we're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
do fourths.
Correct. We do 6. So just draw a little X real quick, and you can hear that crunch through the crust.
I do.
Perfect. And then just do one more. There you go.
And they don't have to be totally even, the same
not at
or
all.
anything. No. There we go.
All right.
Boy,
and
you
then-
just kind of went
Yeah,
right.
right. A little
Okay.
experience, right?
Now that we've cut, we're going to dress the pizza,
Yep.
as Peter calls it. Here you
So
go.
just get a little handful, how much greens you like on your pizza.
You leave it in the middle?
Yeah, because you kind of spread it out for presentation. You could pre-spread it out if you wanted to.
Okay,
Or let
so
the guests do that, or your kids kind of can make the mess
or your
they want
kids
to make.
kind of
Yeah.
make. Okay,
Yep.
all right. I'll spread mine out a little, and your kids can do anything they
Yeah,
want with the
yeah.
greens.
Yep.
They
And you-
may say they don't want any greens, but that's all right too if they don't.
Well,
want
what you do is you give them a choice. You say you can have arugula on it, you can do spinach, you can do a different green, right? You give them a choice. Let them feel like they're in control of their greens, right?
That's a very good tip. They're in control of their greens. So
Right.
they can't say, I don't want any greens. They get their choice of greens.
Of course. And now the trick is in the restaurant we say we do 2 slices, right? But at home you do as many slices of prosciutto as you want. So now
2
we just
slices for each piece?
no 2 slices for the pizza. So you usually
Oh,
just
for the
rip
whole
it. Yeah, we
pizza.
usually just rip it down the middle in the restaurant. and
So
just-
your kids can do this too.
Yeah, just kinda rip it
just
up and just-
rip the prosciutto.
And then-
or prosciutto.
And that's usually what it looks like in the restaurant. But again, we're making it at home. You could do
Yeah,
as
a
much
little
as you
bit
like
more.
prosciutto. Put on as much prosciutto as you
Yeah,
want.
and if you're making bacon or Canadian
Yep.
bacon, the kids really like their bacon, don't they?
Yep.
Okay.
And the last thing we're gonna do is just drizzle a little olive oil.
Oh, I forgot about the olive oil.
So we just give it a little olive oil.
Now, what's the olive oil do? Because I've never really
It's just
drizzled.
it's kind of like the
olive-
dressing. We're almost like making a salad on top of our pizza. So we're just dressing the arugula essentially in the
Yeah.
the prosciutto.
And gives it a little, and you get a good olive oil
Yeah.
if you can. I mean, they sell good olive oils in the grocery
yeah, as long
store,
as we
don't
always recommend an extra virgin.
they? And so, here we are, the Chef Peter Il Vicino, but Chef Peter's family pizza. Let's eat. To say I'm excited to be at this dinner table would be an understatement because this pizza smells and looks so good. So here we are. We're gonna taste our homemade pizza. All right, let's get at it, Peter. Okay, you can use your hands,
Yeah,
right?
this is very hands-on pizza.
Okay,
should be,
so
right?
I mean, I'm gonna use a fork,
Do it.
but at home, you tell your kids, go ahead and use your hands.
Use your hands, get messy. It's pizza.
Yeah, get messy. It's pizza. Gather around the television.
Right.
This is one family dinner table meal where you can gather around the TV and you can still talk.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, right? Okay.
In between delicious bites, right?
Delicious bites. Oh my God. The fresh taste you taste.
I can't describe it, right? Like
You can't because you taste the fresh tomatoes, the fresh arugula, the prosciutto, you taste the prosciutto, and that tomato sauce, it tastes like tomatoes should taste. And the freshness surrounding this is what makes this. Now, you order pizzas from a pizzeria, and it doesn't taste like this,
No.
this fresh. So the beauty of this is not only do you get to bond while you're making it with your children, but you also get a much healthier and much fresher taste. So I'm gonna have one more bite because this is incredible. And actually, when we're done taping, I'll have very many more bites.
that's most definitely one of my favorite
Incredible.
pizzas. Yeah.
Incredible. So, as Peter has taught us, not only do you gather yourselves around the family dinner table, but you gather your family in the kitchen to prepare the family meal.
Right.
And that's what even makes it more special.
Yeah, it makes the connection. You build the bonds over it, right? Like any meal, essentially.
You build a bond. So, my message to you this week is gather around the family kitchen or the family dinner table as often as you can. We know you can't do it a lot, but once, maybe twice a week, even once or twice every 2 weeks. Gather around the family kitchen and the family dinner table, because when families come together around the table, families come together. Thank you, Peter.
Of course, thank you.
The family dinner table is made possible in part by the following: